My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I'm viewing 1 million EdT toilette for men. £63 for 100 ml, a saving of $11.25. So the original price is £75. This is a spicy amber fragrance. The notes are blood orange, peppermint, rose absolute, we'll see about that, cinnamon and musk. The base is leather accord, amber and patchouli. So again, it's going on about being intoxicating, the scent of success. I've never thought that. Provocative, sexy, elegant, combined with leather spices, bursting. I can't be bothered reading it. Do we have our bottles of 1 million EdT toilette? Are we engaged with our high self? Let's get testing. I remember this when it first came out and it smelled it everywhere. It's one of those fragrances. And I remember being, I don't know, I think it was everyone wore it kind of, and the packaging I don't like either. It's, kind of whatever. But I remember sort of smelling it when I went out clubbing, smelling it everywhere. And you can smell it on people, just smell it on everything and everywhere. And it becomes quite intoxicating and, the rest of it. But it is a groundbreaking fragrance and there's a lot of snobbery, I think, about it. And I like sweet fragrances, so I'm quite excited to try it and sort of see what I think about it. And I don't know. I just hate the packaging. I mean, kind of whatever, but it is what it is. This is strong. So this is strong, robust, corporate perfumery, built to a brief, and I think built expertly. This DNA is, I think maybe you can sort of type comments below if there was anything like this before, but I can't really remember that sort of sweetness within a formulation. And I think it's brilliant actually for what it is. You get a wall of robust fragrance. And I think this is very clever because they're utilizing different types of musk to give cleanness. So this is a clean soapy finish, which means they're using tetralate, which is solid at room temperature, and tetralate smells of clean washing. Galaxolide, which also smells of clean washing, and a few other musks further down. Isu Super to give that ambery wood feel within a formulation. Coumarin mixed with the methyl pamplemousse to give that grapefruit. Grapefruit's very rarely used within a perfumery because it's phototoxic and you want to keep things very safe. Strong, robust, clean, youthful. I don't know, is it sort of fashionable now, this fragrance, or is it sort of gone out of fashion? I love the elixir. I thought the elixir was excellent. It's just so clean and airy. And they're combining vanilla molecules, coumarin molecules, lily of the valley raw materials, and then aqueous raw materials as well in there. Can I pronounce this one? The aquanol. And the aquanol smells aqueous, and you add it to formulations to give a dewy feel to a formulation and make things smell sort of more dewy, more fresh. I love the uses of the sandalwood and the mandarin, nutmeg. I love all that sort of stuff within this. And the peppermint helps to clean up. I use peppermint a trace amounts in sort of a lot of these sweeter fragrances because they do help to clean up a formulation. I always use peppermint with vanilla rather than spearmint. Spearmint goes with other things, but they're isomers of each other. Stereo isomers, spearmint and peppermint. The choice of fruit molecules within this, plus the acetates, is giving that lively, effervescent feel. But my criticism with this, it does smell exceedingly synthetic. And that's not a problem because the demographic they're aiming for is quite youthful. So I was asked the other day, the barber that cuts my hair, he said, why is 1 million so strong? And I said to him that the reason 1 million is so strong is because it's how the proportions, percentages and ratios are. That's so important. And interestingly, when companies that are being bought out or they're reformulating for cost, what they do is they tend to increase the Isu Super or the Hedione because you can keep the formulation the same, but decrease by adding, 5 to 10% more of Isu Super will give you a worse performing fragrance. But this has been built to give you a strong wall of fragrance, loads of sillage and sweetness, lots of lift. It's making me hungry. So what do you think of this? Do you think it's outdated now? Do you love it? I don't know. I mean, I sort of stayed away from reviewing it because of, but there's a snobbiness that comes from it. And I think that maybe I was a little bit snobby towards these sorts of sweet fragrances, but sweet fragrances, they've got their place for it. On to my final thoughts. I think this is a classic. I think it broke the mold of fragrances. I may be wrong. I think it's over 10 years old. Please leave your comments below if you sort of think that's right or wrong. But I think it broke the mold of what was there before, and it sort of was signified where a new sort of section of perfumery. I know with Hard Candy, fragrance I designed that was sweet, it sold out quicker than any other fragrance I've ever released, and I was so surprised. And so there is a time and a place for this sort of fragrance. I quite like it, if I'm honest with you. I like sweeter fragrances. So I'll go through my final marks. This company's super professional. They're not going to mess around with the box. Everything's going to be safety assessed. Everything is going to be legal. Everything's going to be at legal parameters. The perfumers are, I think, highly skilled with this. And this is the reason it smells so blended to perfection is because the ratios of everything is perfect. So this is technical, brilliant perfumery. The price, I mean, these companies, they're massive. They're buying things in ton sizes. They're making tons of concentrate up at a time, and smaller companies like myself and other sort of smaller companies, we cannot do that. We cannot compete with these big companies. So this is where the big companies get us, because we just simply can't buy that much of these raw materials, you know, the coumarin and vanillin and Isu Super. We cannot buy them for that price. I bought 200 litres of Isu Super last year, and the price was considerably cheaper. When you start buying ton sizes, the price comes down, and that's how they can do it for this price. They've got technicians making it rather than perfumers making it. So this is how they get smaller companies. I like the sweet cleanness. I'm a bit sad I haven't reviewed it before. I'm going to mark it a 8 out of 10. I think it is a great fragrance. It's a signature fragrance. I think it's a nice going out fragrance, a nice date fragrance. But I would love to see things moved around now. I'd like to see this updated. And I think it could be very, very cool. It's very light, you see. I like fragrances that have some depth in them, and that's my sort of criticism. The sort of depth is sort of missing, and maybe some patchouli or some sort of smoky, very slightly photonic compounds at the base of this would just have to give it some sort of smokiness, very, very slight. Maybe some sort of ambergris-like raw materials as well would help to give it sort of slightly more animal nature. But it is fresh, clean, and sweet, and that is doing what it does. 8 out of 10 is fine. So if you love that review, thumbs up and subscribe for fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance views. Hope staying safe and well. See you soon.